Welcome to Film Smart, a new YouTube channel that my friend Josh and I made so we could discuss movies, TV, acting, directing, and screenwriting, and superheroes, of course, and other things that you guys would be interested in, so we could see what other people's opinions are, and what Josh's opinion is, and what my opinion is, and what our guests that we'll have on different episodes are. So we made this because we're great lovers of film and great lovers of acting, great lovers of TV and directing and screenwriting, and then we wanted to, I don't know, I guess let it out and let everybody know and see what they thought about it. So, we'll let people send in mail, bag questions to see what they think about certain things and let them know what we think about them. So, without further ado, this is our first episode. We're going to talk about Ant-Man. We're going to talk about Oscar contenders. We're going to talk about Batman vs. Superman and Avengers. So it's going to be a good episode. All right.
Okay. The first story of the day is that Paul Rudd was recently cast as Ant-Man. What do you think, Alec?
I think it's interesting casting. He wouldn't have been my first choice, and he's not the superhero type. He doesn't come off as a superhero. He just does a lot of small comedies, especially for his friend. He does a lot of small comedies for his friends, that nobody's ever heard of. So I think the casting of Paul Rudd is interesting. He would have been my first choice. He's not exactly a superhero. He's not an athletic person. Just looking at him, he's not somebody you would be like, oh, it's a superhero right there. No, but I think they'll bulk him up. They can always do that, just like they will with Gal Gadot with Wonder Woman. They'll bulk him up, and he'll get big, and he'll play Ant-Man. And I think it'll be cool. And I think it's a good choice. I think it's an interesting choice. I think it's an inspired choice. It's not a choice we'd expect, and I like that superhero movies are doing choices that we didn't expect, like Ben Affleck with Batman and
Gal Gadot with Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot with Wonder Woman, and then Mary-Kate and Ashley's sister with
Elizabeth
Olsen, Scarlet Witch. Characters that for one we've never heard of, and then they're putting interesting people like Bradley Cooper with Rocky Raccoon. I like these interesting choices that Marvel is making.
They're sucking up all the talent. Watch out, DC.
Yeah, the time will tell how these choices were. I think they'll be good. Kevin Feige knows what he's doing. So I think Paul Rudd will be good. I think Ant-Man will be good. I'm excited to see it. This piques my interest.
I really like the casting. I think that he's good. Paul Rudd is good in comedies, and it seems like the director they chose, he does a lot of comedies that usually they do provoke a little bit of thought at the end, though. So I think that he'll be good in this movie because he's right at home. So and most of the time, it's not like you'll see his face in the Ant-Man suit, so they could totally have somebody else doing the action. So there's no need to worry about things like that. Paul Rudd, I think he's charismatic enough to be on screen with Robert Downey Jr. and Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, and not fall behind, just not fade.
All right, the next topic, Oscar contenders for the 2014 Oscars, but we'll have 2013 movies, of course. What are your thoughts, Josh?
One I want to mention is Her. I think that it's really, that movie just looks awesome. It has the whole idea of like falling in love with a piece of technology. I think that symbolizes almost how the generation currently that's growing up is almost in love with their technology more than each other, because all they do is you'll see pictures of whole families out going to dinner and they'll just be on their things.
Look at me now.
And everything. And yeah, we're using iPads right now, and it's almost becoming a little bit strange. And I
don't even care what he's saying.
I think the movie's really going to symbolize that whole problem that we're dealing with now.
Yes. For my Oscar contenders, Her, I think will be very good. I think that'll definitely be an Oscar contender, and it has Amy Adams, the great Amy Adams, and she was in American Hustle that I just saw last night, and she was really good in that. She was one of the best actors in that movie, along with Christian Bale and Jennifer Lawrence. I believe pretty much everybody, every one of the five main characters, excluding Jeremy Renner, I think will all get nominated for an Oscar at least. And I think somebody like Bradley Cooper or Jennifer Lawrence could win. I don't know if Jennifer Lawrence will win. She might be out of luck now. She just won last year. She might need to wait a decade or two before she wins another one. But Yeah, I think, and I think the director's going to get nominated, of course, and I think it's going to get nominated for Best Picture because I think it was one of the best pictures that I've seen so far this year. Another one we liked was Gravity.
Oh, I love
That was a great movie. Gravity had some of the. If it doesn't win special effects, then the Oscars, they're rigged.
Yeah, there's something wrong with them.
But yeah, it needs to win for special effects. It has to get nominated for Best Director. It just has to. Alfonso Cuarón masterfully
Great
directed
job. Oh.
Gravity. Sandra Bullock conveyed fear and power, and she didn't seem like a female character. She was just a character. I didn't look at her as a female character. She was a strong woman, but she was a strong character in general. So I thought that, and George Clooney did great. He wasn't in it for a very long time, but the scenes he did do were really good. Wolf of Wall Street, I think, is going to get nominated with Martin Scorsese. He's really good at getting nominated for Oscars. He's not the greatest at winning them. I think the first time he won was The Departed, which was also with Leonardo DiCaprio, so maybe that's foreshadowing. But I think that movie will do well. It looks bright like Great Gatsby, and that made a lot of money, so I wouldn't be surprised if Wolf of Wall Street made a lot of money. And not just because it's bright, but also because I think it has some good story. It's a real story. I think people could connect with the whole Wall Street thing and how they've done this country wrong, and how they've put us into some economic trouble in the last 5 years. So 6 years now. So I think that could be really interesting. I think Wolf of Wall Street will do well. And then 12 Years a Slave. Obviously, that's gonna probably win just about every award it's nominated for.
Oh yeah, if it doesn't win something, I don't know. No,
Yeah.
there's no way it's not winning something.
Yeah.
Like,
Steve McQueen's going to win Best Director. Chiwetel Ejiofor probably going to win Best Actor. Another movie worth mentioning is Blue Jasmine. Cate Blanchett's probably going to win Best Actress. So yeah, we got some Dallas Buyer Club, Matthew McConaughey. So yeah, I think there's a lot of good movies that came out this year that are going to get nominated and win.
the next story for the day is Batman vs Superman / Wonder Woman / villains. So what do you think of all the news that has come out about Batman vs Superman before Wonder Woman?
I like the news. I like it. I like Batman vs Superman. I don't know if it's going to be like The Dark Knight Returns. It obviously won't be like that because Batman's into his 50s or 60s when he does that. But I think I like what I'm hearing about Batman fighting Superman. I think that's what every little boy kind of wanted to see. I mean, they've never been on screen together. I don't know if people realize that, but yeah, we've always seen Superman and Batman on the big screen, but they've never together. And then Wonder Woman 2, it's crazy. We live in a great time with movies.
One thing I really think about is Ben Affleck as Batman. The negative reaction that the internet, that everybody gave out at first was really uncalled for, because Ben Affleck, if you think about everything that he could bring to the table, it's pretty amazing. He's won Oscars for his directing and Argo and The Town.
And, yeah, he was nominated for The Town and Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah, it's not Daredevil days. That was 10 years ago, so I think we have to let that go. And
he wasn't the worst. He wasn't the worst part of that. The whole execution of that movie was awful. Everybody in there was terrible. The director was terrible. So you can't just blame Ben Affleck for that train wreck of a movie.
And what do you think about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman?
I think it's an interesting choice. I don't know much about her. I mean, she's been in a couple Fast and Furious movies, and I don't watch those really. So I don't know how she's gonna be. I'm sure Zack Snyder knows what he's doing, and I'm sure he doesn't just pick people. So I think he has. I don't think they would have just picked her out of nowhere for no reason. I think there's a reason why they picked her, and they'll bulk her up. So don't worry about the whole skinny thing. And I'm sure they'll fix the accent, make her. Or maybe they want to keep the accent. I don't know.
She is foreign.
Wonder Woman's not from America, so she might have an accent. So I don't know.
I definitely like Gal Gadot better than Elodie Young and Olga Kurylenko. They both, I just didn't see it at all. With Gal Gadot, I think all they have to do is they have to just make her bigger. I don't actually think that she's going to have a big presence in this movie, mostly because the names that they threw out at Comic-Con were Batman vs. Superman or Superman vs. Batman, and even the names that they recently registered didn't have anything to do with Wonder Woman or any of her themes being like a warrior. And
she's going to have more of a cameo. She might have a couple scenes, but they're not going to be big scenes.
That's what I believe. And they really can bulk her up. She might not have the biggest frame, but Wonder Woman really doesn't have to look like a tranny to be like imposing on people. I mean, she doesn't have to be like, she'd have to be Superman size just to look like she can kick some butt. I think that Wonder Woman, honestly, she just has to be beautiful, and she has to play the part. She has to be able to look like she could beat somebody up without looking like she will just beat you up.
Yeah.
And then potential villains for the film?
I think for Batman vs Superman or for Wonder Woman.
For Batman vs Superman.
I think ones that we have to put in consideration: Brainiac, Metallo.
I still mind.
Obviously, Lex Luthor. I mean, he's going to be a part of the movie. I don't think it's really.
I think that Lex Luthor. I think they're introducing him in this one, but I think he's honestly going to I think he's going to be almost like the Loki of Marvel. How he's going to be in other people's films, kind of. He's going to be like the main villain for like Justice League, but he's going to be augmented by somebody else. He's going to have some type of maybe Bizarro or. Maybe he will kind of team up like with Brainiac, like he did on Justice League.
He'll be the puppet master, I think. Maybe he'll be like Thanos. Maybe he'll be like that. I don't know if he will or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he would.
I'm thinking that they're definitely. I've just been thinking that they're going to do the Lex Luthor and Metallo pairing because I'm kind of drawing inspiration from Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. And how that just works so perfectly with Batman and Superman teaming up, or they could do like the Superman Batman Apocalypse with Supergirl, but that might be a little bit too campy. So never mind. They shouldn't do that. But I do like the Metallo choice because that'll actually bring Superman down to a level where Batman would actually need Batman's help, because I think they have to choose a villain where Batman can fight him and Superman would need the help. So with the Kryptonite, Superman would be brought down to a level where he would actually need somebody to come save him. Yeah. So then that would build a relationship like you save me. So I know that they have to establish that Batman is dangerous and he's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
People, they in the comics, Superman has said himself, Batman's the most dangerous man on the planet.
I think they're really going to put that. I really think he's going to kick Superman's butt.
Yeah, he's gonna do that, and I think with Lex Luthor, I think that could be a match for them too, because Batman's very smart, but Lex Luthor is
genius.
The smartest.
He's the smartest one in the DC universe.
Yeah, I think aside from like Brainiac, he's like the smartest person in the world. And Brainiac's not from.
Well, I think Lex Luthor has like the natural intelligence.
Yeah, he has the natural.
Brainiac has that weird pumping intelligence.
And that's why they come together sometimes.
Yeah. I really think that would be interesting, but I don't know if I really want to see that road in this. They're taking a more grounded take, of course, relative to a world where Superman exists. So they have to take that grounded take, and that would just look too silly. So the next topic of the day is what are our favorite superhero movies of 2013, and which superhero movies are we looking forward to next year? You can start.
Best superhero movies of 2013 in order. I would have to tie. I have to do a tie. I would tie Iron Man 3 and Man of Steel together. I really enjoyed both of them. They both have parts that disappointed me a little bit. I thought the Mandarin twist in Iron Man 3, I was torn. Part of me was like, oh, that's hilarious, and part of me was like, why'd you do that? Because I was getting into the whole Iron Man or the whole Mandarin terrorist blowing stuff up and destroying everything. I was getting into that, but they could always do Mandarin, the real Mandarin.
Yeah, they could always bring him back, even though they kind of already tarnished the name.
He could. I heard in another they were going to do a short, and the real Mandarin is really pissed at the fake Mandarin. He's angry.
Or what if that guy was really the Mandarin the whole time?
Yeah,
and then he was acting that even after that he was.
Yeah,
acting.
What if he was acting? I don't know, but maybe he's a double, triple, quadruple, quintuple agent. I don't know, but then Man of Steel I liked a lot. I think he could have had some better writing.
So yeah, the dialogue was poor in that movie, but I think the wow factor was really. I think it was really just seeing a new Superman and like a whole new universe and all these surrounding characters. I really liked Amy Adams in that movie, and I really liked what was the guy who plays Stabler on Law and Order SVU?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know what his name is.
Colonel Hardy in the movie. I really liked him. I feel like he kind of contrasted Feora perfectly, and I actually liked her a little bit better than General Zod.
And another thing I didn't like about Man of Steel was Lois. I liked Lois Lane. I didn't like how she always appeared where the plot needed her to be.
Yeah.
Cause she was kind of.
She was too convenient.
Yeah, she was very convenient where she was, and I didn't feel like that was necessary. I feel like that would have been fine if they had done that, but it's all right.
What's your number 3?
Number 3.
Oh, you're number 2. You're number 2. You tied number 1.
Oh yeah, number 2. I'm gonna have to go with Wolverine. I really enjoyed the Wolverine. I liked it a lot. It was a great movie. I enjoyed all the fighting scenes on the train. That was a great scene. It looked really corny in the trailer, but it was really good. I liked that a lot. I think the opening scene of that movie was something you'd see in an Oscar contender movie. I mean, it was perfect. The fear in that guy's eyes when he saw his whole city destroyed. I enjoyed that scene. So yeah, that movie, just that scene alone sold me. But I liked the whole movie. It was a really good movie. I wasn't so crazy about the last 20 minutes, but I liked the movie. And then 3, which I could almost tie for 2 because I liked Thor: The Dark World. I really liked that. So I have to put that in my 3 now, 3 or 4. I really liked Thor: The Dark World. I thought that had great special effects. I liked Loki. I thought Loki was the best part of that movie. I think he was the best Loki he's ever been. So I really enjoyed that. I didn't see the Kick-Ass 2. I didn't see that movie. I didn't see the first one, so I can't really say about that movie. I heard it was all right, but
didn't even make my list.
But I don't think there really were any bad superhero movies this year. I think they were all good. I know not everybody liked Man of Steel, but I don't think any of them were bad.
Okay, so my top 4, because that didn't make my list. I was Loud and Proud. Oh, what?
Just say it's your 5.
My top 5 minus 1 was Loud and Proud, Man of Steel. Oh, I love that movie. There was nothing. I think the writing, which we already talked about, was the only poor point of that movie. And I think there were some parts where they could have used Henry Cavill and Michael Shannon more. They didn't have to have so much computer. Just there were certain parts where he jumped when he was going to save that thing. Did he really need to have computer generated him jumping 2 feet?
Oh yeah.
Or it was really heavy on the eye sometimes. Mm-hmm. My number 2 is the Wolverine. I really like this one because it didn't seem like it was just another superhero movie where the entire universe was in trouble or the entire world was in trouble and Wolverine had to stop him. It really was grounded, and I really believe that if somebody had claws that came out of their hand, this could have been a real movie.
That's why it kind of brought what I liked about Batman.
Yeah.
None of his. I mean, he has some movies with some big implications, like The Dark Knight Rises with Bane destroying an entire city, but none of them, like the Thor. The thing that wasn't crazy about that was the whole destroying the universe, putting it into darkness.
Yeah, it just seems like, okay.
What's the point of doing that? You're going to destroy yourself and everything.
That's what I thought. I was like, what enjoyment do you get? You sadistic. Yeah. I was like, but and another reason why I liked the Wolverine was because it was more of a self-discovery movie than just a superhero movie. You really got to see the character development, because if you look at it from the beginning to end, Wolverine is really broken at the beginning, and then you can see he's kind of coming back into the shape where he would be X-Men material again, which is setting it up for Days of Future Past next year. And I'm really excited for that. And then my number 3 is Iron Man 3. I'm not really an Iron Man fan.
I am. Huge Iron Man fan.
I just don't see all the hype about the character, but I did enjoy the special effects were awesome in this movie. I can't lie. They were pretty awesome. And even, I really do like the suit kind of thing, but, and Tony Stark, he's hilarious as always. And,
plane scene.
Oh yeah, the plane scene was definitely one of the most fun things ever, because I really wanted to jump out just so he could save me.
And it was intense. It was an intense scene, I thought. But every superhero movie had at least one really intense scene. And I thought that was good.
I think Man of Steel had a ton. One of my
most, at least one.
My favorite scene, actually I saw it today. My favorite scene was when Jor-El tells him, "You can save her, Cal. You can save all of them." And then he floats out. I just like the way that looks. I think that was so inspirational. And then he kind of shoots off, and you can see that's almost where he becomes Superman. He becomes the person to save people. And that's when he makes the decision. He has to get rid of Zod.
Yeah. So yeah, every movie, I think with the Wolverine, it was the Hiroshima, or was that Nagasaki? Maybe it was Nagasaki. I don't remember. That explosion was really intense at the beginning. Spoiler alert, Thor, when Loki cut off Thor's hand, I thought that was really, I mean, we found out that it was nothing, but
Yeah.
I thought that scene was really intense at first, because I thought Loki was like, whoa. I mean, I knew you were bad, but cutting your brother's hand off. And then Iron Man was the plane scene, and Man of Steel had a lot of them. I thought one was when he was taking out the world engine, putting his fist down, and then the girl thought she was going to die. I thought that was really
Oh, yeah, Jenny.
Yeah.
And then Perry, and then the other guy was going to run away. My number 4 is Thor: The Dark World. This is probably, at this point, it's my least favorite Marvel movie. The first time I saw it, I really didn't like it at all. I really thought it was just too out there for my taste. Thor is also, he's also my favorite Avenger, though, so that's why I was so disappointed with it. And I think it should have just been called Loki. I came there to see Thor, and I came there to see him throw the hammer, and I came to see some lightning, and I came to see him do one of those cool tornadoes he did in the beginning. They really should. But I don't know if that should really be. I don't know how they would connect that to the rest of the universe.
I feel like it could just be separate. It has nothing to do with them.
Because in a way, I'm kind of getting tired of just all Loki. Like, it seems like he's like, oh, okay, he's going to take up every Thor movie.
I think the thing about Loki is he works best when he's with Thor.
Yeah.
When they go off of each other.
He works best when he dominates Thor, because Chris Hemsworth kind of falling. Tom Hiddleston.
Although I think Loki showed that he could work with by himself. That he doesn't really need Thor anymore. But I don't know. I mean, it would be hard to do a Loki movie. I don't think they're going to be worrying about that now, because they're going to be worrying more about doing a Black Panther or a Doctor Strange or a Miss Marvel movies in the future. So I don't think they're going to worry about some Loki movie in the next 8 years. But,
well, since I think we're running out of time, we can just go. We can just save the anticipated until the next video. So thanks for watching.
You don't like the Avengers thing? Let's just say it real quick.
What?
The Avengers thing.
Sure. I mean, it's been 20 minutes.
Okay, let's do it fast. There was news that Baron von Strucker was going to be a character in Avengers, and that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver will be working for him, and that he's a leader of Hydra. Yeah, rumor. And he's a leader of Hydra, which is the organization that tried to take down Captain America in the first and not just Captain America, but the world, and it worked with the Nazis, and it's been a big part of Spider-Woman and her history. It's a big, they might bring in her. I don't know. That would be really cool. But
Sony doesn't own the rights to Spider-Woman?
She has nothing to do with Spider-Man.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, no. If they did, they would make a movie out of her.
Because I didn't know.
No, if Marvel has the rights to her.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Either Marvel, I think it's Marvel. It would have to be Marvel. Yeah, so she has a big history with Hydra, and I think Baron von Strucker, he has a lot of powers. He's cool. I think he could be interesting.
I'm only in it for Ultron. I'm not really excited by this news, but Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, anything they're in, I'm ready to see.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.
And leave a comment. Tell us what you want to hear next time.
And tell us how we did. If we did crappy, tell us we did crappy. If we did good, tell us we did good, so we know to keep it the same and not change. But if we did bad, tell us to change, because we don't want to keep pouring out crap.
Thanks.